first about how A/B testing can be used to uncover bias. This is something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I spend a lot of my day job focused on. So what is an A/B test? It's basically where you have two variations of something and you show it to a randomized sample and see how they react. So for example, if I did tonight's talk in this outfit and the same talk tomorrow in a dress, and I saw what got more applause, I'd be A/B testing my outfit. So why do you do this? It's something that's very common in businesses, especially marketing. People will do this to make their website better, to make their email better. But you can also use it to find out more about people. When you show people two things but only change one aspect, you can really understand how they respond to that specific stimuli. So how do we know it's not random luck? There's this fancy term called statistical significance, which basically is just a fancy way to say something is reliable. So if we keep doing it, it'll keep happening. So how do we prove that? In statistics, there's something that we refer to as a normal distribution. Basically, it says that when you're sampling a population, more people are going to kind of answer in the center with sort of trailing data on either sides. So for example, if I was to poll a bunch of people in this room and ask for their height and then average it, I'd likely get something around 65 inches. Now, for sampling issues, biases, a bunch of things, I could end up with something closer to 74 or 59. Now, what does that mean? When we're doing an A/B test, we need to make sure that our two tests, like the results we get, are far enough apart that we can be confident that they're really different, even if one ends up being the center of our population and the other ends up being the head or the tail. Because otherwise we could think something is better when it's really not. So what might that look like? So you can see on the right here, one might look better than the other, but if it turned out to be the tail and not the center, then the other one might, in fact, might be the better result. Where in the one on the left, they're far enough apart that we can be confident that our two groups are actually different. So what does that actually look like? Let's get into an example. Let's say you're browsing the internet, you're going to go play some poker, you click on a website link, and you get this. Which one is going to make you more likely to click? This one. Yes, okay. If you said the one with the picture, surprise, you're right. That's probably not super surprising, right? A lot of A/B testing can be used to confirm sort of ideas we already have, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way. So in this example, yes, people are super visual, people are going to like the image. We're all pretty confident in that. If we looked at what the distribution would look like, you can see they're far enough apart that we can be confident every time we run that test, we're going to get the same result. However, sometimes it's a little bit more muddled. So, OkCupid actually did a kind of an A/B test on their users a while back. So basically, people who had 30%, 60, or 90 were shown either 30, 60, or 90. So if you were 30, you could be shown 30, 60, 90. Right? So the idea was that they could see whether the percent that they showed versus what you got out of reading someone's profile really more impacted whether you're going to be continually messaging that person. The idea was that you would expect the people who were shown 90 but actually 30 wouldn't message as often as people who were shown 90 and actually 90. Didn't quite work out that way. As you can see, everyone who was shown 90 had the same likelihood of messaging more than once. So it actually showed that the suggestion of OkCupid's likelihood for you to match with someone was more important than what you read on their profile. That's a pretty crazy A/B test. And what you can see is they're really close. It's slightly better, but not enough to say that group is actually going to be different. Now our third example is a little bit more upsetting, I'm going to be honest. So there was a study done at the University of Chicago where they basically were trying to identify racial bias in hiring. So what they did is they took 5,000 resumes, they sent them out to jobs all over the country, and they only made one change, the name. Half the resumes got a stereotypical white-sounding name, and half the resumes got a stereotypical African-American sounding name. They wanted to see whether the callback rates, so the percent of people who got interviews, would be different. Again, controlling for everything but the name. What they found out were white-sounding names were 50% more likely to get a callback interview. It's a pretty significant difference. They were able to see, by testing that one change in stimuli, that there was a huge impact in how their audiences responded to the resume. That's pretty powerful. You can see that they're far enough apart to be really confident that if you keep doing that, you're going to get the same result. The white-sounding names are going to continue to get more callbacks. So A/B testing is a super powerful tool. There's a lot you can do with it in anything from your personal and your professional life. So my challenge is to you, the audience, what's something that you could think about A/B testing in your life tomorrow? Thank you. I'm Morning Glory.